Hello all, welcome to this session. In this session, I am going to answer Selenium Interview Question 73. That is, why we have to create and use test automation frameworks. So, let's get started. Simple guys, why test automation frameworks, right? So, let me explain. So, here is the map, as you can see, which explains what is the purpose of the frameworks and why we have to create test automation frameworks. Okay, whether it may be Selenium automation tool or any other automation tool, we generally use different frameworks, guys. Okay, but why the frameworks are required and what exactly is a framework and what are the advantages we get by using this or creating this test automation frameworks for automation, test automation, all these things I'm going to cover now. The first thing is, what is a framework? Okay, before understanding why framework, we need to first understand what exactly is a framework. Framework is nothing but a set of rules or best practices followed in the project to get the desired or better results. Okay, a set of rules and regulations or best practices which are followed in the project to get the better or desired results is nothing but a framework. Let me explain with a real world example first, okay? Before understanding how it makes sense, okay? The framework sense in the automation, I'll tell you one thing, one real world example I'll give you. Let's say someone is taking a session, okay? So someone is taking a session, a trainer is there, a trainer is taking a session and to this session, there is space here where all the students are sitting there. Okay, different students have attended this session. So like this, different people have attended the session. But the problem with this trainer was the trainer was not giving proper instructions. Just before the session starts, the trainer has not given proper instructions. He or she has directly started the session. So where the trainer has not given any he has not specified, he or she has not specified any rules, regulations, best practice, nothing is specified. Simply, the students have come and the trainer was training it better only, but the problem is the students were creating the mess. Okay. So that first thing is that the trainer has not specified the time when the session will start. So out of these 9 people, let's say some 3 people came on time, remaining 6 people have not come in on time because the trainer has not given a strict instructions that you are not allowed if you don't come on time. Like that instruction is not given. There's no particular, right? Rules and regulations are there in the session. So few of the people came and few people came late because it's not compulsory. Okay. And next thing is that trainer has not mentioned to carry a book. So few of these people have carried the books and remaining all guys have not carried the books and books and pen and all whatever they have carried, they have not carried. Another rule the trainer has not given. Okay. Maybe other rules like you see, switch off your mobile phones. This one has not mentioned. This particular rule is not mentioned by the trainer. So everyone kept their phones, right? They were the phones were keeping ringing in the class during the session, and trainer was getting distracted. Okay, because of the rings and all. Lot of disturbance was there in the class. Okay, and if someone due to some emergency or some urgency they have to go outside the session, they were disturbing the trainer saying that, sir, can I go outside? Okay. Okay, sir or madam, can I go outside? Like that, they are disturbing. So the trainer has not given a specific instruction that if you have anything to go outside and come, just go by yourself and come back. Okay. You don't have to disturb me like that. The trainer has not given any instructions. Because of this, what is the problem? The session will go on, guys. No problem. Still, the trainer will be able to handle the session. But the problem is the session will not happen in a better way. The session will not give better results or the expected way the session will not happen because all these rules are not mentioned during before the session. Okay, what if the another trainer is there and this trainer is very clever that before the session has started, this trainer has instructed all the students who are going to attend this session to come on time and to carry a pen and paper. Okay, to switch off their to right to mute their mobile phones, to make their mobile phones silent and none of the phones should ring during the session. If they have anything for 2 or 3 minutes, they want to go outside and come. Okay, you don't have to disturb the entire class like that. All the rules were mentioned here. All the rules were given properly by the instructor, and here the session went well. Okay, when compared to this session didn't went well, but this session has went well because the all the participants were following the rules and regulations given by this trainer. Okay. So this is how it looks. The same thing can be applied to the projects, guys. So in case of projects, if you're not using any rules, this kind of problems will come. Okay. The automation will be done in the projects, but problem is we'll not get the better results. Okay. Desired results will not get. Maybe the automation scripts will take a lot of time, and we have to write lengthy codes. A lot of problems will be there if the rules and regulations or best practices are not followed while creating the framework for these projects. Okay. This side, if you are using a project and creating a proper framework for this project, or with all rules and best practices and regulations, then what happens? This framework will effectively and efficiently will give you better results. Okay, desired results in desired time and all. Okay, with smart work and all, will get better results. This is what is a framework is. Okay, this is what exactly is a framework. Framework consists of a several set of rules and regulations or best practices. Okay, so that the project will give you the desired results. Okay, the test automation projects will give you the desired results. Okay, better results. So if you have a better framework designed for a project, these are the type of the advantages. Okay, I'm going to explain this in a practical way, guys. I will, for each and every advantage, I'll show you the practical automation framework here and show you this, explain these advantages to you. First advantage is reusability of code, guys. Okay, the first advantage we get with a framework is better built framework with better rules and best practices is reusability of the code. For example, here if you see this project, a lot of code has been reused, guys. Okay, so for example, here there is a common utils .java is there. If someone has to generate a email timestamp, okay, in multiple, for example, here in the login.java, I'm calling this method, guys. You see somewhere here I will be calling the method. Get email with timestamp method is there. I don't have to write all these lines of code. Okay, I don't have to implement this logic, guys. Here simply I'm calling this method, and not only in the login.java, guys, the same method is called in the register.java also. As you can see somewhere in the automation scripts, I need to call this the register.java, another Java file also. You see get email with timestamp is called. So we are reusing this code instead of writing this basic code again and again in our automation scripts. Here this method is calling this method, and here also we are calling the method. So simply the generation of the timestamp will happen. Okay, this is only one example I'm giving for reusability, guys. There are many examples I can give. Okay, for reusability. Okay, in this framework there are many things that can be reused. Okay, fine. Here element utils are also there. All these methods are reused. Okay, so they are called internally. I'll tell you all the details. Okay, so first of all, that is a reusability, guys. Not only this reusability, but other level of reusability is also possible. Okay, so instead of writing the same code and again in multiple Java files and or okay wherever it is possible, instead of doing that, we'll put that all this code into a particular method and call that method. Thereby framework will enhance that. Okay, in frameworks we generally put the code reusable code into one of the method and call that whenever that is required, which enhances that we don't have to write the code again and again, guys. Duplication of the code will be avoided because of this functionality. Okay, because of this advantage of this framework. Okay, then reduce maintenance, guys. Okay, reduce maintenance means what? So you see, so there may you see the things will keep on changing, right? The application URL may change, the browser on which we want to run the automation scripts may change. Okay, so some data may change, like username, password, such kind of data may change, and also these locators, XPath expression, CS selectors, ID, whatever the locators are with objects or locators we generally call, right? Those things also may change. Okay, due to some XYZ development, their locators also may change. So if these locators or this data keeps on changing, what happens is every time we have to go to our project and we have to go to the necessary files and update those data, right? Update the, for example, if the URL has changed, I have to go to the individual login.java and provide the URL here. Okay, so provide the URL. User navigates to login page is there. Home page is coming here. Click on my account. So you see, it's kind of a different thing now. Anyhow, we have the things my hooks. If you go to the my hooks here, you see the URL is not hard coded here. If you see in this my hooks driver.get, in this I have not provided the hard coded URL because I know that tomorrow if the URL changes, I have to go here and there and update the URL. That will increase the maintenance, guys. Okay, that will increase the maintenance. Okay, if the URL keeps on updating, I cannot go to individual files and update the URL here for each and every test. Or if the browser on which we have to run the automation script changes, I cannot go to the individual test and modify the browser. What I'm doing, I'm reducing the maintenance. Okay, even locators also, guys. Locators. Okay, in our automation scripts there will be a lot of locators, right? So here I'm also on kind of removing the hard coding of the locators also. Nowhere I have the locators available. You see, in this automation scripts, you will not see by.id, by.xpath will not be there. They are moved to another place, okay? A centralized place. This data and locators are moved to centralized place. For example, test data is moved to this, for example, configuration, high level test data is moved to config.properties file. You see where I provided browser is equal to Chrome and URL is equal to this one. So this file will be accessed by complete project, guys, okay? So whenever the URL changes, the client changes the URL, okay, gives a new URL for testing. You simply have to come to this config.properties file and you don't have to touch any of these test files, okay, test automation scripts, and simply change the URL in this config.properties file. Now, these properties are centralized, guys, for all the automation scripts. Similarly, browser on which you want to run the automation scripts and many other configurations are also possible, guys. So sample test data I showed you where, you reduce the maintenance. Without touching the automation scripts, we are simply going to the individual required centralized files like properties files, etc. And we are updating the data there and entire project will refer the data from there. Okay, this is how we are reducing the maintenance. If tomorrow if something changes, we don't have to disturb the entire project. We simply go to this kind of centralized files and modify the data. Okay, and locators also same thing as locators. Here in this framework, we are following the page object model, page factory pattern, guys. You see locators related to the login page are provided here. You see by.id and all. Tomorrow, if email field, okay, in this login page, for example, here the login page is available. So in this login page, let's say here, this particular elements are their email address, password, login button is there. If the locator for this email address has changed due to XYZ reasons, development changes here in this login page. So we clearly know that this locators of this login page will be there in this page object class for login. Okay, login page.java file, and go there. And here you see we have centralized this locators in this login page.java. Okay, according to the pages, we have centralized these locators and we have removed the hard coding of the locators from this individual test files. Okay, here the locators are centralized. Okay, objects or locators, whatever you call, are centralized. You see, if tomorrow email field some value changes, you can just come here and modify this. You don't have to go to individual tests and then wherever the email field is used, you don't have to update. That's how your maintenance will be reduced, guys. Okay, that's how the maintenance of the project will be reduced with the help of this framework. Framework will enhance the maintenance part by reducing the maintenance levels. Okay, by removing the hard coding of the data and locators from the automation scripts. Now, easy to create scripts or write scripts. Okay, you can easily write the scripts, guys. If you clearly observe the automation scripts here that you are writing in this login.java files and all, you see it's very readable and easy to write. You see, if you want to click on my account, you simply say homepage.click on my account, guys. Do you see any very difficult code here? No, right? Simply homepage.click on my account, it will click on the my account. I don't have to be very technical for this. You see, enter email address, very simple commands. Okay, we have, with the help of the framework, we were able to write the automation scripts easily, guys. Okay, so you see, this is all possible with the help of the framework, guys, because enter password. If you go to this method, guys, the detailed code is inside this method. Okay, I don't have to write this kind of code. Okay, I don't have to write this kind of code, text into the fields, and this detailed code I don't have to write. Okay, you see, when I try to type text into the element, first I have to wait for the element, then I have to click on the element, then I have to clear the text in the element, then I have to click on type the element using send case. All this low level code is moved to higher level in this framework, and we simply have to write enter password, enter email address, this kind of simple instructions we are giving. So with the help of this framework only this is possible, guys, where writing of the automation scripts is very easy. Okay, then better reporting. Better reporting means if you're not following a framework, okay, so you'll not get better reports, guys. Okay, and the better reports are not possible. And here, let's say there is a failure and all, and for that a screenshot has to be taken and embedded into the reports. For getting that better reports, having a lot of information of the failed test and passed test and all, for that framework is essential, guys. Okay, if you see here, we have the Cucumber reports generated, one of the sample. Okay, just observe these reports, how they are created and all. Open with a web browser, I'll say. These are the Cucumber HTML reports. You see, one of the tests is failing here. One of the tests is failing. You can clearly see one failed and 13 passed. And whatever the test that is failing, is that has a screenshot embedded. You see, all these things, attaching a screenshot to the failed step or scenario. Okay, is possible with the help of frameworks. Okay, so for better reporting also we need frameworks. Okay, then lowers the risk of test failure. You see, if you are not following a framework, guys, and when you run the automation scripts without this kind of sophisticated framework, your scripts sometimes will run, sometimes may not run properly because they are not properly built on a framework. Okay, so the possibility of the failure of the automation scripts will be more, guys. But if you implement this kind of frameworks and make the things better, like you see, for each and every operation, for entering the email address, okay, entering the email address, you are calling this method. Internally, one method is there. From that, type text into the element. Some reusable method is there, and here you are waiting for the element. Inbuilt waiting mechanism is there. You are clicking on the element, clearing, then send keys. You are not directly saying send keys. Okay, you are clicking, clearing, and waiting for the element. Okay, such kind of things are happening. So because of those actions taken in this, what do you say, the element utils kind of methods, okay, it will lower the risk of the test fail. Automation tests will not fail normally. If the application problem only, they will fail. Okay, but code wise they will not fail, guys. Okay, then more readability. You see, these scripts are more readable. You see, whatever the you see in this BDD, especially in this BDD, guys, they are ultimate readable, because you see clearly anyone can understand. The business people also can understand your automation scripts, because in the feature files you have clearly written login with valid credentials. Given user navigates to login page. Anyone who knows the English can understand this. Behind every step, behind this every step, guys, the automation scripts are written. Okay, at the end of this. At the background of this each and every step, the automation scripts are written. For example, user navigates to login page is written here. User navigates to login page, the code is written here. Okay, so front end is like this kind of scenarios with English text is there, that anyone can understand. More readability. Okay, with page object model, page factory will get somewhat of readability, and on the top of that, if you are using this BDD Cucumber feature files and all, the readability will be extreme. Okay, complete readability is there. Anyone can understand your automation script. Okay, no one worries about what is written, right? They simply run this feature files where people can understand this automation script, what automation script that testers have written. Okay, and in the background what's happening doesn't matter. Okay, so more readability got increased. Okay, with a different type of frameworks, different levels of readability is possible. Then inbuilt waiting mechanism, I told you, right? For every operation we are doing here, for example, in this to click on my account, what we are doing, we are click on element, you are saying. Okay, click on element. You see, first we are waiting for the element, then only we are clicking. Inbuilt waiting mechanism is there for every operation, guys. Okay, here waiting for the element, then clicking, clearing, and send keys. For typing, we are doing this many operations. So the possibility of failure will be very less, because inbuilt waiting mechanism is there. We don't have to separately wait here and there in the code. Here, this kind of reusable methods, or what you can say element util kind of methods we can create to make this kind of thing possible in the framework. Reading data from the files. Okay, you can but in Cucumber BDD, guys, it's not recommended for you to read the data from the Excel files. So all the data will be passed from the feature files only. For example, here the data is being passed. Okay, multiple sets of data is being passed from the feature file only. Here also you see all the data is now passed from the feature file scenarios only. Here only we are passing the data. But if you are using TestNG hybrid framework, such kind of things where Cucumber BDD is not there, we can configure this framework in such a way that we can read the data from the Excel files using POI API and all those stuff. Okay, with the frameworks only, this reading of data from the files is possible. Then data-driven testing. Here in this, guys, in the login dot feature, the first scenario is nothing but the data-driven testing. Okay, the framework can automate the data-driven testing, where for a single test, if there are multiple sets of data, I should not be writing multiple automation tests. Okay, I should not be writing the scenarios 3 times. For every set of data, I should not be writing the scenario, right? Rather, the multiple sets of data I'll provide under this scenario outline and give this multiple sets of data. The same scenario will run 3 times with the number of data that is provided. This is called as data-driven testing, and the automation of this data-driven testing is possible with the help of framework. Whether that is TestNG hybrid framework or Cucumber hybrid framework, in both the cases, we can automate the data-driven testing. Okay, these are the several advantages, guys. Okay, then retry functionality. Here, I don't have an example for the retry functionality, but we can configure in such a way that if any particular automation scripts fails, it may be because of a network issue or something, it may fail sometimes. So we can configure the framework in such a way that the failed automation script need to be run multiple times until maybe 2 or 3 times, 2 or 3 chances. If it still fails, we'll consider it as fail. But maybe there is a possibility that 20 to 30% of the automation scripts may pass in the second run or third run. Okay, so that kind of retry functionalities we can mention in the frameworks, and many more, guys. Like this, there are several things, several advantages we get with a framework. You see, as I already mentioned in the beginning, framework is nothing but a set of rules or best practices, okay, which are introduced into the project to get the better or desired results or desired outcome from this automation projects. Okay, that's the advantage of the frameworks. If you follow all these best practices, okay, and utilize this all these advantages from a framework, right? ultimately the project will yield good results, guys. Okay, the project will yield good results, and we'll get a better report, better results we'll get in the report. We don't have to write a lot of code. When something changes, it's very easy to find where exactly the data got changed or locators got changed and just modify them in the centralized locations. Writing of the automation scripts have become easy. Okay, test will not fail so easily because inbuilt waiting mechanism is there, and other actions to be taken for performing each and every step is there in the reusable methods. More readability. Non-technical people also can understand what the automation scripts the testers have written in a technical language, even though they are non-technical people. Okay. So reading the data from external files or feature files, all this is possible with the help of framework, and automating the data-driven testing, retry functionality so that the field test can be given more chances, so that in the second run or third run there is a possibility of they getting passed, because sometimes the network failure or something may happen because of the which the scripts may fail, but not because of the defects in the application, but scripts may sometimes fail because of network latency issues or something. For overcoming such kind of problems, we can implement retry functionality, and many more things are possible with the help of the frameworks, guys. Okay, and to get the better results from the project by following these rules and regulations or best practices implemented in the projects as part of the framework. So hope guys you understood why frameworks are, why we have to create and use test automation frameworks in our automation. So hope you got the answer. So that's all for this session. Thank you. Bye.